Thank you. I'm Dr. Angel Alvarez. It's always a surreal experience to be at a school where members of my family dropped out of. If you ask them, they'll say, hey, they made mistakes, but they weren't alone. Just as then, CPS has made mistakes regarding a lack of transparency and little budget accountability, and history seems to be repeating itself again. CPS is not being transparent about their budget, funding formulas, or projections at school level funding for the future. Release those funding proposals, hold them up so that we can determine how equitable they are. There's a number of questions and unintended consequences with your budget formula. Like, if an all-white school, do they get more funding than diverse ones? Because it sure seems like that way. Look at page 35, middle column, toward the bottom. You need to answer that question. The presentation also focused on the report from Stanford and Harvard's Educational Opportunity Project. They claim not only did CPS have the highest post-pandemic recovery, but that our students are performing better now than they were before the pandemic. CPS can't stop talking about it, but you won't listen to me about the problems of the study. It took me 30 seconds to find out that their data and findings were grossly inaccurate. It was so obvious, I was worried that maybe I made a mistake. Who am I? I'm just some kid from the South Side, and these are Harvard and Stanford. But when they asked other people to independently verify it, they couldn't disprove my findings. With a basic understanding of mathematics, your bureaucrats should have known that the conclusions couldn't be trusted, because Stanford also claimed that CPS students lost 2.5 times the learning.
Speaker number one, you have 30 seconds remaining.
They claim that CPS students lost 2.5 times more learning loss in the 2 years prior to the pandemic than between 2019 and 2022. You insult our teachers. All of the hard work, all of the accomplishments, this study failed to acknowledge. It's wrong. These findings are inaccurate because of poor statistical modeling. We're in a critical time. You know what? We need more TLC, transparency, release the budgets and projections. We need leadership that recognizes your power comes from the people. Involve us, nothing about us without us. And finally, child-centered solutions and accountability. Beyonce's net worth is $800 million.
Please conclude your remarks.
CPS's budget is 12 Beyoncés, and I assure you, we're not getting Beyonce-level opportunities in these schools. Work with me and we can change that. Thank you.
Thank you for your